For those who have watched my review on the new Hourglass Holiday 2025 face palettes, you know that I was waiting for my order to arrive with Hourglass Horse palette, which is an exclusive palette at Sephora in the sense that it's exclusive the color story, but the case alongside with the other cases are now available at Hourglass website for customizations or get the ones that are pre-curated. So basically you have 4 different cases: the horse, the deer, the swan, or the fox, and then you can choose between 3 different color stories. Well, Sephora this year gets a exclusive color story with the new Hourglass Horse Face palette. All existing shades: soft light, a blush in mood exposure, the highlighter in supernatural strobe light, the blush in iridescent coral, iridescent rose blush, and glistening bronze light bronzer. Here are the swatches of the horse palette. If you are curious to know which shades comes from which palette, I have done some homework here for you. So we have soft light comes from the elephant palette, and it is the middle shade. It is a finishing powder. Mood exposure, we have seen it time and time again. I think perhaps the latest one was the leopard palette. The highlighter in supernatural strobe light, that comes from a palette that looked like a marble, that lighter version. Iridescent coral from the elephant palette. Iridescent rose comes from the tiger palette. Glistening bronze light comes from the universe palette. Let's apply first the bronzer. This is a bronzer that is not as cool tone as the one that we find in the Swan palette. The one in the Swan palette is more like that almost bronzer kind of bronzer. This one is not warm. This one to me is more neutral. Iridescent coral. This shade has a chief of a gold undertone that you can definitely use it also as a blush highlighter. It's very close to this shade from the Swan palette, but the one from the horse palette, it's deeper, it's more vibrant. So this is horse, this is the one from Swan. So Swan is more peachy, this one is more coral, almost that flamingo kind of shade. So I'm talking about this shade here. If I compare it with the Swan is definitely lighter, more peachy. Going next to iridescent rose. This is one of those marble shades. And again, it does have not a chief, but it does have that candlelit finish. That looks gorgeous. And yes, I can build it up even more. Like, I do have a light to medium complexion, but this palette will definitely for those who have medium complexion, and I would say even tan complexion, because this bronzer perhaps could be a little bit light, but if you are very tan, you can even use it as a finishing powder too. And this mood exposure is just as I always find. In some palettes it looks deep, in some palettes it just looks light. It's just gonna depend on how much of the deep pigment you get or not, because these are those marble shades that I always say I like them because they look so pretty on the pan, but at the same time I wish that Hourglass will make them a little bit more consistent. That if there is a way to make them consistent, that will be amazing. That will be incredible. And with that being said, you will find that not every single person that reviews this makeup is gonna have the same opinion, mostly on these kind of like shades that are not shifting, but that they are not so as predictable as the shades that are just one flat color. So I'm building here as much as I can. And then I guess we can take a little bit of this mood exposure here on my nose, because why not? Let's just, yep. Hourglass has also launched with this holiday collection double-ended brushes that are a little bit different than the ones that they are pre-existing. They not only have a different handle, this one is for the Swan, but also the shape of the brushes are different. If you have, say, this BK Beauty brush, It's like a mini version of it. And then this tip one here, I mean, it's more for a highlighter. I'm gonna be using this side for the highlighter on the horse palette. And let's see how this goes. Okay, this is a really nice highlighter. It's not as beaming as the one on the Swan palette. This is my speed. I like highlighters that they are more of a luminizer, that they are not, you know, like what, 2015 kind of highlighters, 2014, that they were super beaming, that they just were like a little too much. Now here you see more reflective aspect than on this side, because remember that on this side I'd apply this blush, and this blush has a golden undertone, a little bit of an included highlighter within it. While on this side is showing you how it will look if you just use any regular blush as mood exposure or even Descent Rose. Going next with a bronzer, and I'm taking it above the crease. Same bronzer, and I'm gonna take it on the lower lash line, iridescent coral, and I'm gonna take it all over the mobile lid. Going with a highlighter next, and I'm just gonna dab it right on the center. Going into the highlighter, and I'm gonna apply it here on the inner corners. Soft light, and this double-ended brush from Hourglass. And with this, I'm just gonna tame down the shine. Just a little. And it just gives this very much filtered effect. Okay friends, there you have it. This is the final look with the horse palette. I mean, honestly, you will not go wrong with any of the face palettes from Hourglass. You pick and choose. Now, in terms of personal preferences, I love this palette, although I most likely have most of the shades. If I compare it to the Swan palette, I already told you this shade is way lighter. To me, it feels more like blush topper slash highlighter, like a light luminizer more than a blush on my skin tone, and I'm in the lighter spectrum of the light to medium skin tone. And this shade, this bronzer, is very pretty, but it just leaves you to always have this very much of chiseled kind of look on your cheeks. It doesn't leave that warm tone. It's very, very cool tone. Not ashy, but it's just cool tone. And the highlighter here is just extremely shiny, very bright. It's beautiful, but I personally will apply it underneath the blush so it doesn't look like way too much. And then I love dim light more than soft light, although in this case it just works completely fine. If I compare it to, say, the Deer palette, this new finishing powder is insane, incredible. The bronzer is gorgeous, but then again, it's mixed in, and as you can tell, I didn't get much of the actual deep shade, so it's very hard for me to build on. The rest of the shades are lovely. I actually like this palette a lot because it gives me a very subliminal, ethereal look, like if I have been touched by a fairy. And if you want me to show you like this shade, for example, in comparison with the one of the horse palette, I'm just gonna put it up here. This is way lighter. Do you see there you can perhaps barely see it, but it's very, very, very light. And if I compare it with the Fox palette, well, definitely the Fox palette is meant for deeper complexions. You can build it up and use it lightly. If you have my complexion and you're going for the Fox, I think you will not be disappointed. I'm able to use it with a light hand because they are beautiful and they are nicely pigmented. Perhaps the one that I cannot use is the highlighter because it's just so deep, so it will be kind of like a neglected shade on this palette, and that's exactly why I'm going for like customizations are so important, or even give us the possibility for these palettes to be magnetic, or like say Natasha Denona does her palettes with a little pin hole on the back that you can poke it and take it, and you can customize your palette, and that doesn't mean that your sales are going to drop. In fact, I think the sales will be even more increasing more and more and more because you are helping your clients. And I think Hourglass have done an amazing job at creating more shades. Like in general, they had come out with 12 new shades this year, 15 new shades last year. They are catering for deeper complexions too. They are doing their part. I hear you guys. I read your comments, and I know some of you that have true deep complexions, they say, because I'm deep, because I have a rich skin tone, that doesn't mean I have a warm undertone. And here it is another point too. I would love to see Hourglass to come out with palettes that have 2 blushes, 2 bronzers. One bronzer that could be cooler in tone, or that bronzer in that marble light kind of formula, because that will give us time to build it up, and then the bronzers to be either marbleized but not with a very light shade, but rather that they are a little bit more even. Like for example, this one is marbleized but it's a little bit more even, so it's more predictable. Hopefully it makes sense. And then one highlighter and just one finishing powder. I don't think we need 2 finishing powders in general. I think that ratio could be a lot better. That is just if I'm giving a feedback as a client to Hourglass. And my friends, how much I love Hourglass. I think it is, to me, top brand. They reign supreme above many, many brands in the luxury high-end world. And I'm talking about that. Yes, I love Chanel. Yes, I love Dior. Yes, I love Hermes. And I go gaga about their packaging. But I mean, to be honest with you, who does like incredible face powders? I think one of the very, very best ones that you can rely on is Hourglass. Definitely it is Hourglass. It is one makeup brand that I will recommend to any friend, any family member, anyone that truly wants beautiful makeup that looks very filtered, that doesn't look heavy, that looks natural and beautiful, that is reliable, that you can, like this palette, that's why it sells out all the time, because you can use it for traveling and create even an eyeshadow look with simplicity and look put together immediately. So that's the beauty about these palettes. Now in terms, I know one of you or a couple of you had asked me about what about the covers? Which one you would choose one above the other? I think the artist made an incredible job. I think 100% I need to have the horse one. It's truly stunning. And then in second place, it is a tie between these 2 babies. I think the beauty of the swan, how delicate it is, how it has those lines of femininity of the swan, is just so stunning. But that the elegance of the deer, my gosh, the deer, look at that. She did an impeccable job here and is very much calling holiday. I mean, you could not go wrong. I mean, perhaps these will be the 3 that I will pick. And then the fox, wow, the fox have that intriguing factor, is gorgeous too. I mean, you pick and choose. To me, if anything, I think it's the blue that is underneath that doesn't make jump the fox drawing as much as the other ones. If it was black, and I understand why she didn't use black, because she was using black on the horse one. But anyhow, you cannot go wrong. I think all the palettes are stunning. They all give you a different outcome. They are not too similar one to the other, neither similar to 2024 palettes. So let me know which of all these palettes is your favorite one, which one have you picked up, which was your customization, did you customize your palette? Do not forget, I do have a 10% discount code with Hourglass. This video is not sponsored by them. I bought all these palettes myself just to bring you my review, but if you want to take advantage of the 10% off, go ahead, do so. If you use one of my affiliate links, thank you so much for that support. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's just continue that conversation in the comment section down below. While you're at it, if you haven't done so yet, it's always free. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you're on Instagram and TikTok, come and follow me there because I'm uploading some shorts about these palettes and many more content. If you like the video, if it serves you on any help, please give it a thumbs up, share with family and friends. And if you're not done watching my content, I will be leaving a couple other videos at the end of the screen that I'm sure you're gonna love. See you then.